A federal appeals court has ruled in favor of Governor Ned Lamont in a suit filed by the Connecticut Citizens Defense League and 6 residents. That suit last year claimed the governor violated their constitutional rights through an executive order that suspended fingerprinting services for gun permits during the pandemic. The court inevitably decided that fingerprinting already resumed last year.